Wow, that was a game the Las Vegas Raiders could have and should have won. We already know this is a rebuilding year and they're not going to win anything this year. However, the Raiders are losing games that are winnable and it's very frustrating. They were at home against the Chicago Bears, who were 1-2 coming in. Or were they at home? It was a 50-50 fan split and it seemed like the Bears fans were louder. I live here in Vegas, but I'm starting to question if the Raiders should be here. The other team's fans shouldn't be louder than the Raiders fans. The Raiders have something to do with it though. Losing is one thing, but the way the Raiders are losing isn't going to make people want to see them play. They got to do something to get the fans back. Anyway, here's what we were able to take away from the Raiders' loss. You guys that said Ashton Jeanty was a bust shouldn't be allowed to comment on football anymore. That's determined over 3 years, not 3 games. Today's game didn't earn him a gold jacket any more than the previous 3 earned him the bust label though. But today's game did show us what Jeanty's capable of. He had a little more room to run, not much but a little more, and look what he did with it. He had 138 yards and a touchdown on 21 carries rushing, and of that 138 yards, 129 of them were after contact. Yup, most of his yards are still coming after contact. He forced 9 missed tackles too. Well, we already saw he can break tackles, make guys miss and run guys over. We saw his ability to make something out of nothing too, but today we saw that plus his speed to take it the distance. And with his 2 touchdowns receiving, we saw he can do damage in the passing game. He's one of the big young building blocks on this offense. This kid's future is so bright you need some dark shades to see it. I guess that's why a lot of people don't. All he needs is a good offensive line. It looks like Geno Smith isn't what some of us thought he was. I didn't think he was on his way to getting a gold jacket, but I thought he was better than what I'm seeing from him now. When you're a veteran quarterback, sure, you're going to make bad throws and things like that. What we shouldn't expect is for a veteran quarterback to make a bunch of mistakes like he did on his 3 interceptions today. Each one of them had a different mistake attached to it. It seemed like he was trying to force the ball into receiver Jacoby Myers too much. On the first one, he wasn't open at all. He had 0 separation. He shouldn't have thrown the ball. On the second one, he stared his receiver down so the safety was able to read his eyes and get a break on the ball. I don't think that's a mistake a veteran quarterback should be making, and Smith's been staring his receivers down all season long. The Raiders actually could have won the game if Smith would have made a better throw to rookie receiver Dante Thornton on the 3rd and goal on the 11-yard line. Yeah, I know, Thornton definitely should have made the catch, but Smith should have hit him in the chest. There was no reason for Smith to throw the ball that low. All that talk this week about how Jordan Meredith did all this and that to get the job at center in training camp and he has no production in games. He hasn't played well at center all year, and yesterday was no exception. I don't know what head coach Pete Carroll's thinking. He's not getting better. How far is Carroll willing to go to prove himself right when it's costing the team? Neither Meredith's blocking nor snaps have been good, but Carroll wants to act like he's Jamato. I guess I should include offense coordinator Chip Kelly in this too. He called the quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1, and Meredith got pushed right back into Smith, and he went nowhere. That set up a 4th and 1, and he called a run to Jeanty up the middle, and he got pushed back even more, and the Raiders failed. I love it that the Raiders rushed for 240 yards in the game yesterday, but you got to be able to do it when it matters most in short yardage. That gets you the drive-sustaining first downs and touchdowns. If you look at the damage Jeanty was able to do yesterday, it was done off tackle and to the outside on stretches and tosses. Don't let Jeanty's outstanding day fool you. Powers back to center is still necessary. I absolutely hate to say this, but the prime of Max Crosby's career is getting wasted. Yesterday he had 5 pressures, 3 passes batted down, one of them leading to an interception by him, and 3 tackles for a loss. He was taking double and triple teams all day too. How much more do you want from one guy? All that one-on-one blocking his defensive line mates were getting, they didn't do much. Fellow edge rusher Malcolm Kuntz isn't full strength yet. He had 5 pressures and a tackle for a loss, but when he's at full strength, he usually does more with the one-on-one blocking he's been getting. Fellow edge rusher and interior defensive lineman Tyree Wilson had the Raiders 1 sack yesterday. It sure would be nice to see more from the 2023 number 7 overall pick. I want to see more from the interior defensive lineman Thomas Booker too. I want to see more of why the Raiders traded for him this offseason. Crosby's not going to have the individual success he can have or take over games the way he can unless someone else from that Raider defense line proves they can beat one-on-one blocking. After giving up over 200 yards rushing to the Washington Commanders, the Raider linebackers had their bounce-back game this week. All of the Raiders linebackers played pretty well yesterday, but it was Devin White that led the charge. He was very fast and very physical all day. He had 9 tackles, 8 solo, and 1 for a loss. It wasn't really the numbers though, it was the way he was doing it that I liked. With his physicality, he came downhill and thumped, and with his great speed, he went sideline to sideline to make plays. Oh, and he continued to show his improved pass coverage with a nice little pass defense. And of course, he's well known for his blitzing, and he showed up there once with the pressure. He's looking a lot more like he did in 2020 when he was an All-Pro, but with improved pass coverage skills. Landon Roberts has that elbow injury, but he looked pretty good in limited snaps. And Jermaine Pratt was alright. The talent is there with this Raider linebacker core. It's just about what are they going to do with it. They just need more performances like yesterday and less like the ones against the Commanders. I've been saying all along that corner Eric Stokes can play when healthy. It's just about if he can stay healthy. And sure enough, he didn't. And third round pick Darian Porter went in for him. You'd think the Bears would pick on him as soon as he got in the game, but they didn't. They kept picking on Caillou Blue Kelly. Why mess up a good thing? Kelly gave up catches on 100% of his targets that day, and he's given up catches on 76.2% of his targets this season. He's given up 256 yards receiving this year. That's on pace for over 1,000. He gave up a couple of bombs too. That's why whenever Stokes comes back, Porter needs to stay in there with him. You can have Porter giving up all the catches and big plays Kelly's giving up, and he'd at least be learning in the process. The Bears didn't throw at him yesterday, but he looked pretty good in coverage, so he may not be as bad as Kelly. If he is, it would just be a part of what can be a special player's development. Carroll said he reminds him of Richard Sherman. Either way, if you want to develop him, you have to play him. Yesterday, we witnessed the arrival of running back Ashton Jeanty. He doesn't need much, and the Raider offensive line didn't give him much, but he did something with what they gave him. He showed what he can do in the passing game too. I want to see more of that. Smith, well, he looks like he's just another postcard quarterback, and the Raiders better do something about that interior offensive line. How many times is Carroll going to let Meredith get ran over and pushed back at center? Crosby has a help wanted ad out. White and the linebackers bounce back this week. And Porter needs to be in the game over Kelly. Thank you for watching. See you next time.